How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. So this is a retro review, Falcon Crest Season 2, Episode 9. So Melissa's baby is still clinging on for dear life, and Cole has come by the hospital to come visit, and he lets her know that the charges have been dropped, and she says, thank you very much. I didn't think you ever killed my daddy. And he's like, basically asking her about everything going on with the baby. Listen, there was a lot of melodramatic going on in this episode, even more so than your average nighttime soap. There was a whole lot of, Cole was like, I just wanna hold you right now and just let you know everything is gonna be okay. And Melissa's like, oh, Cole, baby, do you think we're being punished? It was just a lot of that in this episode, okay? It was a whole lot of, and, Melissa is like, listen, I just need to hold my baby. Like, my baby hasn't had no human interaction, and I know he's craving that. And I just don't understand why, my baby's not responding to anything. So just as her and Cole embrace each other, the doctor walk up on them, and I'm sure the doctor is like, what? That ain't her husband. But he lets her know that, things just really aren't getting any better. And she was like, well, what about the specialist that's supposed to be coming in? Because remember, Angela was trying to find this specialist, and she was supposed to be pulling all her contacts to try to get this specialist in. And he was like, well, we haven't heard anything yet. We don't know anything yet. And she begs him to be able to hold the baby, and he was like, we just can't take that chance. Your baby just isn't well enough. We can't take the risk with the germs and everything like that. Child Lance is still in San Francisco playing house with his girlfriend. We ain't even gotta entertain that. We know what that is. And he tells her, just hold on a little bit longer. They just gotta wait for the baby to get out of, the woods. He can't just leave her, while the baby is still, clinging to life, Now, Maggie, this is what was confusing to me. Now, Maggie went down to L.A. to go see Daryl Clayton, the guy that she sent the script to. And I thought that he had sent for her to talk about the script. But then when she got down there, she had to sneak onto the line, sneak into his office. And the secretary said, well, I did put your name on the list, but I just wanted to let you know that, Mr. Clayton said this is basically a good first attempt. Keep writing, but we ain't really ready yet. And she was like, so I'm like, so you have to fly all the way down to LA for that man to tell you that thanks but no thanks? It just seemed weird, because the way they made it seem like was that he had sent for her, but then when she got down there, it seemed like the total opposite. And she's floating through, because the lady told her, well, maybe you should get a literary agent. That might help you kind of get your foot in the door. Don't be discouraged. It was your first attempt. Keep writing. And then we see Maggie basically going all over town trying to get a literary agent. And it's kind of like the chicken, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The literary agents don't want to take up her case because they're like, you don't have enough experience. But of course the studios won't read her scripts because they're like, you don't have a literary agent. So she's getting the run around with that. So we'll get back to that. Now, back up to the Falcon Crest. Angela, they still looking for Emma, child. Emma is dipping and dodging, and they are still looking for her. And Angela asked Philip, well, can we just take it to court and have her, declared incompetent? Like, she done ran off with these damn, with her proxy, and we need to let the court know that she's not thinking well. He said, well, we kind of already tried that, and that didn't really work. Remember what happened the last time? We tried to have Emma declared incompetent. The judge still let her speak, and that's how you ended up giving away half of Falcon Crest to Chase. And she was like, yeah, I guess so. She said, well, I guess we have to just keep buying up shares on the open market. And Philip was like, that's getting real expensive. And she was like, well, we're just going to have to do what we got to do. Now, like I said, Emma is still living her best life. We see her on the bus talking this lady to death. Now, she did say that she noticed that somebody was following her. Now, what the thing with Emma is, you can't really be sure if it's really somebody following her or is Emma in her own mind seeing somebody following her. But we do know that there are at least 2 private eyes that are looking for her. So she may very well be telling the truth, Now, Chase, on the other hand, has found a whole field that he wants to plant this new hybrid grape, I guess, and try to create a new wine for Falcon Crest. And Julia lets him know. Julia was like, listen, my mother gave up on this land a long time ago because um, this land is dead. Like, nothing grows over here. So she gave up on it a long time ago. And he was like, well, with this new hybrid, um, we have a really good chance of making things grow. Like, this hybrid is something different, and I want to try it. And Julia was like, well, if you can convince my mama, but I'm telling you that's probably not gonna happen. And he said, okay, well, let me talk to her first. Like, don't you tell her, let me talk to her. So he goes to her, he tries to talk to her, and y'all know Angela ain't here for it. And Chase says, listen, I don't really care what you think. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to plant that. Like, again, you keep thinking I'm asking you permission, and I'm not. I'm telling you what I'm going to do because we are 50-50 owner. And he said, Julia, she said, well, we don't have the money for that. And he said, well, Julia let me know that we have a whole discretionary fund that is specifically set aside for stuff like this, for new projects, for experimental projects. And she was like, well, we don't. Like, there is no fund like that. And Chase was like, okay, but I believe Julia that there is. And I'm going to go talk to the accountants myself because I know that there's money. Falcon Crest has the money for this project, and I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. Now, Lance comes through after hanging out up to the San Francisco, and Angela says, listen, Chase is off on one of his little goose chases again, and this is what I need you to do. I need you to get to the accountant before Chase gets to the accountant, and I need you to stop it, okay? Because that money that he think is in that account ain't in that account, because that's the money that I've been using to buy up all of this Globe stock, okay? So there is no money in that account, or it has been greatly reduced, okay? So you need to get there and stop Chase before he gets there. Now, Angela, I don't know why you keep sending Lance on these wild goose chases. You know good and damn well that Lance is no match for Chase. Like, Chase dips and dodges and scoots around him every single time. In the meantime, Richard has been able to get the doctor, right? He's been able to pull his contacts, and I guess his contacts are just a little bit stronger than Angela's. And he's been able to get the doctor to come to see about Melissa. So Richard goes up to the hospital to go talk to her and let her know that he's got this new lawyer. I mean, the doctor is coming to see her, and and Angela makes Lance go up to the hospital to go see Melissa, right? So Melissa and Richard have a whole moment, my baby, woe is me, why us type of thing. And her and Richard have an embrace. It was nothing sexual about it. Yeah. It was nothing sexual about it. It really was a woman, a mother thinking about losing her child and what that possibly could be. Lance walks in, and of course he gives her the same old, once a slut, always a slut type situation. And he rolls out, child. Now, Victoria is off with Mr. Hogan, her running coach. And Victoria keeps trying to come on to this man, and this man is really not giving her the time of day. She's trying to hug all up on him, and he keeps pushing her off of her, and I think he's attracted to her, but he is really, really, really trying. He is really, really, really trying, okay? And Victoria is just throwing herself at him. It is really embarrassing, okay? Later on in the episode, she finds out through Cole that the man is married. And he was like, oh, you ain't know he was married? And Vicky was like, no, I didn't. And he was like, old habits die hard. Like, once again, you done fell in love with an older man who was married. And so, of course, she was like, screw you, Cole. Because, of course, y'all know back in New York, she was dating her teacher and stuff. And Cole confided in her that Melissa told him he was the father of the baby. And she was like, well, do you believe her? And he was like, I mean, I don't know. I ain't got no reason to think she lying, but I don't know if she told the truth either. I don't know. So, Chase gets to San Francisco. Now, he doesn't beat Lance, right? But Lance is on his way out of the building taking the accountant to lunch. And Chase lets him know, he was like, listen, I'm up here. I need to see the books. And he was like, well, I can't show you that. He was like, oh, no, you can and you will. Like, I'm half owner of Falcon Crest, and I have every right to see all of it. And I want to see all of it. And he was like, well, we were on our way to lunch. And he says, okay, I'll wait. Like, you should be back in an hour. That's what a lunch is, right? An hour. I'll be in your office, and I want the financial reports for this year, that year, that year. I want to see all of it, okay? And I'll be in your office waiting. And once again, you know Chase ain't no dummy. Lance tries to stop it, but of course he can't, because at the end of the day, the accountant, Chase has a right to see that information. And once he sees the information, he's able to read through and realize that something ain't right in the state of Denmark. Like, he's able to look and see that money is missing and it's been moved around. Now, he's not a CPA, so he's not smart enough to understand all the intricacies, but he is definitely smart enough to see that something ain't right here. And he tells the accountant, he said, you know what, I'm about to do a whole internal audit on this whole department. I'm about to so I will be back, because something ain't right here. It's money missing, money being moved around, and we got a huge problem. Now, while Maggie is running all around LA trying to get an agent and looking for Mr. Clayton, honey, Mr. Clayton is up in the valley at his estate up in the valley, and Angela Channing goes to pay him a visit. And Angela Channing asked him, I heard that my niece, because now all of a sudden Maggie's her niece, I heard my niece sent you a script. And he said, yeah, it was pretty good, but, not something that I'm interested in actually, producing right now. And she says, well, what if you had a backer? What if you had somebody that was willing to finance the project? He said, well, if somebody's going to finance the project, who am I to turn down some money? And she said, well, yes, I just, she's been working really hard on this, and she has a lot of great potential, and I just want to be there and to help her get to the next level. And he was like, well, that could be kind of expensive. She said, don't worry about it. I got that. He said, now tell me why you really want to do this, because that's bullshit what you're saying. And she said, well, let's just say this, that I think that this is a project that will keep Maggie very busy in LA. He was like, oh, okay, I got it. So you want to keep Maggie away because you want to keep Chase preoccupied, or keep Chase away. And at the end of the day, hopefully cause some problems and keep him out of your hair. So Maggie calls Chase with the good news that she heard from Daryl Clayton, and he wants to he wants to talk to her about doing her script and how she has to stay in LA. And he was like, wow, like, that's disappointing, but understandable, because again, Chase is trying to be very supportive of this, but Chase ends up going to see Hogan, and when he gets there, well, actually, first Vicky goes first to go see Hogan, and she's talking to him like, you didn't tell me you were married. And he was like, well, I didn't lie to you. She was like, yeah, but you weren't truthful either. Like, let's cut through all the bullshit. I like you, and you like me too. And I understand now why you was kind of holding me off, but you should have been honest and let me know that you was married. Like, maybe I would have been acting a little different if I knew you were married, And while they're having this conversation, Chase rolls in. Now, I know Chase ain't stupid enough. I know he understands that something was going down. Like, the way he kept looking at the two of them, like, okay. But, they said they were talking about coaching, and she was like, yeah, basically Victoria was like, yeah, well, that's over with. There will be no more coaching. And he asked Hogan, he was like, listen, do you have any friends outside of the valley any CPAs, who can look over some financial records for me that are outside of the valley? Because he already knows if he go to anybody that Angela got any pieces of, that's a wrap. And so he tells him he got a friend, and his friend just happened to be in LA. So Chase flies down to LA. Him and Maggie hook up. They have a moment, whatever. And he goes to see the CPA. And the CPA lets him know, yeah, something ain't right here. And he breaks down what's kind of going on. He said, but I'm going to need a little more time to dig a little deeper, and I can give you all the information you need. He was like, but yeah, you were right to suspect something was going on, because something definitely going on, child. So the doctor arrives down to the hospital and he examines the baby and everything. And the baby starts doing better. And he tells Melissa, he says, you know what? But now what we need you to hold your baby. He needs that interaction. And she said, well, that's what I've been trying to tell them. And they've been telling me no. He said, oh, no, they weren't wrong. Your baby was too fragile. But now, he is doing better. He's responding to, what I'm doing. He's responding to. And it's time for you to hold your baby. And so, of course, Melissa gets to hold the baby for the first time. And, she's in love. And Julia's there looking through the glass. And it's a whole sweet moment, and all of that good stuff. Angela comes down to the hospital. And, of course, because Richard is still there. And she's like, well, so I heard you were able to get the doctor here. And, she was inside. She was seething, honey. She was seething about the fact that he could get that doctor there before she could. Richard's secretary. So Richard confronts her about the shares. He said, somebody's been buying up a whole lot of shares. And he says the name of the company. And she was like, yep, that's me. And he was like, oh, really? He said, that's very interesting. And basically he's letting her know that I'm on to you. Like, I know what you're doing and I'm on to your little game, bruh. Okay? What was I going to say? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so Richard's secretary asked him, why was it so important to you for you to be able to put this in motion? And my thing is, girl, don't you know? Like, because now Melissa is going to feel like she owes Richard a favor. And when it comes time to sell her property, which we already know that she don't have the money for, dun 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 dun, that's when he feels like he going to get what he need. Okay? All right, y'all. That's what it was. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.